This video was made possible by EA Game Changers. Hey everybody, Crystal Gamer here, and welcome to my channel and to a new video all about photography in The Sims. And as a photographer, of course, I am super excited about this, and I can't wait to show you a whole bunch of stuff. I have been testing out the photography stuff like mad with all of the new updates with the Moschino Stuff Pack and just the updates they give us in general in the photography realm. So let's get into it. This here is a little photo studio I made. We can see that I am in Del Sol Valley, and it's a little photo studio that I made. Unfortunately, the game does not have a type yet for photo studios. I hope we do at some point. I would like to have a type, but I use the new Moschino windows and all that. God, isn't that gorgeous? God, I love these new windows that come with the Moschino Stuff Pack. And as we can see in here, I've got this photo studio set up for you so we can get a feel for the photography stuff. We have some changing rooms and restrooms, a little office area, waiting room, and another photo studio here with changing rooms and restrooms as well. So as you can see, we have a couple of backdrops. These are two backdrops side by side. Beautiful thing. They're seamless when you put them together, which is gorgeous. This does the same thing. It's seamless. If you have not seen my other video going over the stuff yet, all the stuff from the Moschino, or not, I keep calling it, did I call it Moschino this whole time? Moschino. I think I called it Moschino this whole time. I'm sorry if I did that. It's Moschino. I keep wanting to say Moschino. I don't know why. I don't know why I keep doing that, but I keep doing that. But nonetheless, there's a whole bunch of different backdrops here. And as you can see, we get a feel for the different backdrops they have here. So let's just stick this on kind of the simple one. As you can see, they're all moving backdrops, which is, oh, it's good and it's bad. You kind of, in some cases, like in this one here, for instance, the overcast one, you have to sort of hang out and wait for it to get exactly where you want it to get. Because if you don't want this sort of darkened line in the middle of your photo, you have to wait till it gets someplace good and all of that stuff. So anyway, that's that. Let's talk about photos themselves for a second, because there are some changes with the photos that I want to mention that are very, very cool changes. So now when we take photos in the game, we can take our photos, hang our photos like we always do and all of that stuff. But if I save this build and put it out on the gallery and you were to download it, you get all of these photos that I have taken. Now they'll come up on the build without frames, but they will come up, which to me is super cool, because now as a photographer in particular, I can just artwork my whole place up like crazy. And it's not just people, which is great for me because I'm actually not a people photographer. I'm not a studio photographer. I'm an outdoor photographer. I do everything outdoors, natural light and all of that. So I'm not actually a studio photographer. So I have taken my guy and I have done some things. He's my photographer, she's my model, but I have taken him and I have done some things like I did some cityscapes. I don't know if you can see that a little bit, but I took him out, did some cityscapes and all of that. And this brings me to these photo frames. So these here are our digital photo frames, which are all kinds of coolness. Now these will not come with well, they'll come with the build. If you set it up and you put it up on the gallery, the frames themselves will come, but the photos won't, unlike the other photos, because this has an actual storage mechanism for photos. So we have to manage the photo inventory. So if I click on that, we can see I only have 3 photos in this right now, these two, which are probably the same, and then this one here. So I only have 3 photos in this one. And then in this one, if I click manage photo inventory, I have 6 photos in this one. So I just threw some photos in here just to have something. Oh, did that just change or was that on that? I can't remember. But anyway, you can see I did some like outdoor scenery type photos and all of that. So really easy to manage that. And each one of these will hold 150 photos and they will scroll through them at the rate of speed that you set. And we have several choices. I have them in an hour right now. And of course it's sim hours. So 1, 3, 6, 12, or 24 hours. And so each one will hold 150. of the right type. So you have to have landscape in this, you have to have portrait photos in this, but you could feasibly get several of these digital frames and display a ton of photos. So that is pretty awesome. That is some awesome functionality for a stuff pack. We've got all sorts of good functionality for a stuff pack. We also have these frames here. Now I don't have anything in this frame yet because I'm going to kind of show you guys how to put something in this frame. So that's a new item that we can just fill as well. So let's get into the photography and showing you how that works. So a few things before we actually get into photography. We have some photo lights. We can set the color, light, and intensity if we wish. I haven't played too much with that yet to see exactly if the lighting has any effect or not. One thing that I have tested quite extensively is flash versus non-flash, and I see absolutely no difference between flash photography versus non-flash photography. And as a photographer, that is a little bit disappointing. I really kind of wish that there was a difference between those two things, but unfortunately, from what I can tell so far, there is not. But I'm going to have our model go on this here. So this is the little marker. I'm going to tell her to wait for photographer. And these two are together. Pretty much they're kind of roommates, couple, whatever they are. And so I'm going to have her wait for photographer. But you can see there's this option for putting this in inventory, which is awesome because you can take these markers, put them in inventory. You can take the tripod, put them in inventory, and you can go anywhere in the world that Sims can go, and you can set your Sim down and have her wait for the photographer, set the camera down, and take photos of your Sims anywhere and actually have them look good, which is awesome. Okay, so now she's on the mark. She's waiting for him. We have our tripod here, which has a whole bunch of different things here. We have take picture of Sim on subject mark, which is what we're going to do. We also have take picture of, so she's just standing around and you want to say take picture of her. You can take picture with, you can do that as well. Put the tripod in inventory, obviously remove the camera. You can change it out for any camera. I have tested all of the cameras on the tripod. Every camera works on the tripod, and also, interestingly enough, every camera gave me the same exact results on a base photo. There was absolutely no difference in quality or anything about the results in my tests. And I did a base photo test and a zoom in test for every camera in the game, all the same. So no difference on that. So take photo is just regular take photo. And this here, I actually want to point out for those of you that use mods and play with Andrew's Pose Player or any kind of posing where you click on the sim and you have this pose by pack thing. For those of you that use this, you can actually use it. It's so exciting. Oh my God, I'm so excited about that. So the only thing is you have to use this take photo. You cannot use take picture of subject on mark or take picture of, because once you use the pose pack, the sim is unrecognizable by the tripod. At least as of right now, unless they change something. So that's the way it is right now. But the thing is we can actually use pose packs and take photos and all of that. I just tested that. I'm so excited that it works. It will not work with the career though, because with the career, if you're doing actual photo gigs in the game, you have to use, from what I can tell, you have to use the take picture of sim on subject mark. So you have to kind of check off the boxes, and we'll get into that a little bit as well. So, okay, we are going to actually do that right now. Take a picture of the sim on the subject mark, click her, and I'll show you guys how it looks. He's slow. Come on, get over here. There we go. All right. And I'm not even going to pose her. I'm just going to throw her like this. It's good enough. And I have this set on the smallest size, and I am going to keep this on the smallest size right now because I said I was going to show you guys how to fill up that little photo frame that has the 3 open photos. So one of those photos is a landscape mode photo, and it's the smallest size. So you have to take the appropriate photos to fill that photo frame. If I take the medium or larger size, it will not fit into the smaller size. It just won't go in there. I've tried it. You can't size it down and all of that. It actually has to be the right size. So, all right, so we're going to take our photo of her like that. Then it needs I think it's a small one in this format here. in portrait orientation format. And so I'm going to set her up here. That looks good right there. And then there's a medium one as well. And I guess I will just do, just to make something a little bit different here. All right, it's not great, but okay. I do believe that those three are the correct sizes for that photo frame. So, okay, so we have our little photo frame here. Let's hope that I'm right, that those are the correct sizes. And this one should go there. Yep. So that's beautiful. Then where is the tiny one that I just took of her? That one goes for there. Here it is. It's right in here. And that one goes in there. So if you have the right size photos, they drag in really easily. If you have the wrong size photos, you're going to run into trouble. They will not drag in the way you want them to drag in. So yeah, you'll know very quickly if you don't have the right size photos. So this is the smallest photo, medium photo. And both of these are portrait and one landscape. So you have to have that right to get them to fit in there. And I do believe that this goes with the house. If you put this up on the gallery, I think that this goes with the house as well. Okay, now for jobs. If you want the sim to find a career in photography, you go to the computer, you click career, and you say find a job. And so, all right, he's already got a career as a photographer. She does not yet. We're going to give her that career. So we go into here. Now, you're not actually looking for a photographer. You're looking for freelancer. So we click on this freelancer here and we see we have available trades: digital artist, fashion photographer, programmer, writer. So obviously she's going to do the fashion photographer thing. And it gives us a little blurb here about how you can set your own schedule and be your own boss and all of that good stuff. So we're going to click yes here, or we're going to click the little check mark. And then of course, we're going to select the freelance photographer option right here. And this gives us a little bit of information on that you guys can read when you select it. And so we're going to click on that. And now she has the fashion photographer thing. She can select a gig right here. She can check for gigs. So we can click on that and she can select anything in here and it'll tell you what photography skill level she needs to be at, when the assignment is due, and how much the pay is. And then obviously when you mouse over, it gives you the description on the different things. And I'm going to do this just select this for her because it's a level 1. She's actually a level 5. So she's maxed out in photography. They both are. Unfortunately, photography only goes to level 5 still. That for me is a little bit of a drawback. I think if we have a career, it should go to level 10, but you know, that's just me. That's my feedback for yay. But so, all right, so we're just going to select this photography level 1 just to see this down here and see what you get. So you get a couple of tasks here with it. And we have take photos of Sims in everyday outfit. They want 5 photos, submit for client's approval. So, all right, so we're going to use our guy and let's actually use this studio. So this is going to work pretty much the same exact way. We're just going to have him get on here, wait for photographer. We're going to have her go over and take some photos of him. Okay, so they are both in place. So now she is going to take some pictures of him. And I do believe for the fashion photographer thing, we have to use the take photos of Sim on mark. I think that is something that we have to do. Now, unfortunately, or fortunately, I guess depending how you want to look at it, they have several categories of poses here, and we do have different poses, but as a photographer, a lot of these are fairly useless to me. I will never, what am I ever going to use this for? Other people that want to do, like, there's a whole goofy section and sad section and things like this. I know other people are going to have a great time and have fun with this type of thing and everything. As a photographer, I'm a little bit more serious probably than most people are about it. So this is probably the only thing that I would ever use this for, is just showing you guys how to do this stuff. That's it. But other than that, I think a lot of the poses are just downright Kind of ridiculous, but that's just me. One thing that's good, and I should go over this with you actually too, is you can use the keyboard if you're familiar with tab mode. If you move around the screen in tab mode a lot, this will be very easy to you because W is up, S is back, A is left, D is right. So you can move around just like you can normally in the tab camera mode. And it gives it to you here if you're not as familiar with the tab camera mode. And I may have just screwed up the letters as I was talking. It's kind of, I just do it. I don't really think about the letters too much at this point, but it gives you the letters down here if you forget, or if I happen to have just said any of the letters wrong by chance. So it gives this to you down here. You have the zoom in out here, and you can also do it with your scroll wheel on your mouse, which is my sort of preferred. I tend to either use the scroll wheel on my mouse, or I'll use the W and S to go in and out. So you can do it either way. If you want to lock this, like while I'm moving the mouse, it's moving all over the place. If you want to lock it, just click and it locks it, and then I can move my mouse and I don't have to worry about it. So clicking locks it. So in other words, if you want to maybe select different poses or something like that, and you're moving your mouse and the whole thing's moving, that's how you lock it, is by clicking and unlock it, unclicks, and then you move all over the place again. So, okay. And you'll notice they were kind enough. I love that they give us the third quadrants. So, whoops, I didn't click. So they gave us these third quadrants here because photographers actually take photos with the rule of thirds all the time. And you'll notice that I pretty much naturally set him up pretty much exactly on this line. I do that automatically as a photographer because I've been doing this for years. Even though I don't photograph people, doesn't matter what I'm photographing, I'm always using the rule of thirds. And that's pretty much any photographer will tell you that. So if you want to make your photos look a little bit more professional, if you set your sims up to be on this third line, and have a little bit of negative space over there, your photos will look a little bit more professional. Or, if it's closer up, you may want to put the eyes on this line. It depends on the photo. I mean, I could go into an entire lesson on exactly how to use the rule of thirds, but just know that not centering your subjects is often better unless you're doing something. Let's take this one real quick because we need like 5. Unless you're doing something where you're going really close in on the face, and then you may want to kind of center like this. And then in these cases, it's okay to cut off heads. You're doing a real close up like this. Maybe you want like his eyes really looking at the camera like that. And I've got him, whoops, missed the click, sorry. There we go. That's a pretty good photo with him as well. So there we go. So yeah, so use this rule of thirds, and don't generally center your photos unless you're really kind of close in or something like that. Most of the time you kind of want it off center. Like even this, I would put him off center like this here because I'm a little bit further back and I've got his eyes on the line. It makes for a little bit of a nicer shot, a little bit more interesting and visually interesting and dynamic. We have our filters here. You can use different filters either during the photo or after the photo, which is kind of interesting. You can't do that in well, you can actually in Photoshop, I guess you can. But if you're done with the photo shoot and you want to play with photos on the wall, those are digital photos. Let's go down here. Photos on the wall over here. I'm gonna pause. If I want to, I can actually change the filter, set filter with the photo on the wall, which is kind of sort of cool. So I can add like a warming filter on there and warm that up a little bit if I want to. So yeah, so that's kind of neat. So she took the photos of him for her gig for her career, which was just a sim in casual clothes. And I think, oh no, I'm on him, her. Here we go. I think that they're mostly here. So, no, that's one of her old ones. There we go. That's one of the new ones. That's one of the new ones. Of course, this I didn't do very great on focusing on the fashion. I kind of focused on him more than the fashion. But so we have a few there, and she should have this here checked off now because she took the photo of the Sims, and then submit for client's approval. So let's submit this one for client's approval. So we click on this, and then we have this freelancer thing up here. We click this, submit for client's approval, and we put that in. And these here, let's add a frame so we can add frames to these. And the only thing is, if we want to position them kind of carefully and be picky about the positioning, you do have to go in build by if you're going to be a little bit picky about the positioning, or if you're going to resize them. Like I want to resize these down just a hair. There we go. So there's a few more photos up. I keep ending up with more photos up, and those aren't even great, but that's all right. A couple of extra photos up, nothing wrong with that. So, all right. So now what happens is those are now submitted. Where's her thing? Did she already get paid? I think she already got paid. She submitted it and she already got paid. Yes, here we go. The internet loves Jacqueline Model's photo. Her last name's Model. And client rejoices at the positive reaction. Great job, Jacqueline Model. So our girl just made a little bit of extra money. So that's how you do the gigs. And obviously the gigs have different requirements and all of that. But yeah, you can do gigs pretty easily. And if you notice too, any photo that I have up, if I want to, I can also send it to Simstagram or sell copy to production. And both of those things add to fame. So just from playing around with this, I have ended up, where's the fame thingy? Right here. He's already at a 1-star celebrity just from furnishing his home with photos and furnishing this studio with photos. And of course he has a home studio too, just because he's my photography guy. So yeah. So the other thing that's pretty cool is being able to take all this stuff with you. Now, he already has, I believe, everything in his inventory. Yep, he's got a tripod in his inventory, he's got a camera in his inventory, and I thought he had a marker in his inventory, but I guess maybe not. All right, well, we'll just take this marker and he can put it back afterwards. So put that in inventory. We're going to take that, put it in inventory for him, and I'm going to show you guys the awesomeness that this is. So I can actually take this and say I want a picture with this in the background. I want a picture of our model with this in the background. I'm just going to stick this right here, and I'm going to put his camera down and put his tripod down, put a camera on the tripod. Maybe I'm going to put a camera on the tripod. Come on. There we go. Okay. And if you want to rotate this, I can't remember if I said it yet or not, but so this moves around, as does the lights, as does all of this stuff moves around out of build by. And if you use the greater than or less than signs, you can actually turn this as well. So that's something that's sort of worthy of note. So say we want to put this over here and take a photo that way, we can. Let's see what this looks like. I'm going to, just to save time, teleport her, teleport him. Okay, I'm going to have her stand on the mark, wait for photographer, and I'm going to have him take picture of subject on mark. And as you could tell, she came up, when I said take picture of subject on mark, she came up there because she's here obviously as an option. If we have more than one sim, there's more than one sim there as an option. So this is pretty cool. So we can take this photo of her with the whole background here, which is kind of nice. And we can go up. I love the fact that we can actually angle this now. So there we go. We've got a nice angle. Let's go right about here. All right. Me and my pickiness, right? So, all right, what I just did, if you're interested from a photographic perspective, if you look at this rule of thirds thing, I've got her on this third line here, and I have the horizon on this third line here. So I use the rule of thirds in two different places here. So I'm gonna do this photo of her, and I keep switching to the larger size. I actually wish the larger was the default. I'm not quite sure why they made the small the default, but I kind of wish the larger was the default because you can size them down, you know? But so anyway, all right, take that photo. So you can see, like, we could do beautiful night shots and all of that with the skyline in the back and everything. And it's just gorgeous. And you can take your Sims out anywhere and do this. So it's just fabulous. I love it, love it, love it. Now you do have to tell the sim to get off the mark. Otherwise, she pretty much kind of likes staying on the mark. So, okay, I think that covers the majority of the photography stuff that we can do right now. I know I haven't quite gone over everything, but feel free to ask questions below because you guys know as a photographer, y'all know I am going to be playing with this in the game. This is like the best thing ever for me to hit the game. I'm so excited about it. And I wasn't even interested in this pack. So I really would love to know what you guys think. Are you feeling interested in the pack? Are you liking what you see? And yeah, let me know in the comments below. And also, I put out at least 2 Sims videos a week, and I put out also today, in fact, I put out a fashion show and I put out a Moschino build buy item review. The fashion show is also Moschino related. And I have a build coming out this week that is my photography guys home loft studio thing as well. So that's coming out in a couple of days. So if you like Sims content, if you like this type of thing, do make sure you hit the subscribe button and the little bell for notifications. And I thank you so much for spending the time with me today. I hope to see you all back again next time. Bye now.